Hey, Leilani with the Magical Solution here. June 13th is coming up. That's this Thursday. June 13th is a very special day for me in particular because it is a special day for one of my primary spirit guides. And that is also the day that I will be kicking off the summer semester of my spiritual development intensive series, which means you only have 4 more days to sign up for that series, okay? Registration, I believe my website stops accepting applications 1 hour prior to the start of the very first class, which is on June 13th, right? So let's talk a little bit about this intensive series for those of you who don't already know, because I know a lot of you guys who are following me now have been following me for years and have known that I've been teaching this class for years now. But for those of you who are just coming in and just learning about me and what it is that I do, again, my name is Leilani. This is the small business that I own, The Magical Solution. I am a spiritual teacher of Mesa Blanca. I also teach a lot of occult subjects, magic, mysticism, etc. But this series that I'm doing starting on June 13th, this is a series that are specifically meant for people who are interested in their psychic mediumship development, who are also interested specifically in the approach by Spiritism, Spiritualism, and Espiritismo, more specifically Espiritismo. And what this series does is it gives you the real deep, intense theory and background behind all of the things that we do as psychic mediums, in addition to the, rituals, music, procedure, all the stuff that you would need to know in order to go into a space with other psychic mediums and be able to hold your own. By the end of it, you will have the credentials needed to then apply for my mentorship program if that is something that you want to do. Otherwise, it is just an amazing class to take to prepare you for any other spiritual endeavors that you have going on in the future and any other interests that you might have, right? It gives you just a really good, strong spiritual foundational base, and it also helps you to develop your faculties, right? Now, some questions that I have gotten about this class in the past. Do we talk about altars, such as the white table, such as the boveda, and do we talk about setting it up and how we go about doing that? Yes. Do we talk about not just our spiritual faculties like the clairs, but do we practice those things, and do you show us methods to do that at home? Yes. Do we go over, procedure, like rituals, prayers, songs, and spirits? Yes. Do we talk about our primary spiritual guide, our main one? Do we talk about the spirits that are in our court? Will we have an opportunity to meet them and come into contact with them during our intensive? Yes. I know, these are great questions. I know, I get them a lot. What specific spiritual background is all of this rooted in? As I had mentioned, it's rooted in Spiritism, Spiritualism, and Espiritismo, specifically Puerto Rican Espiritismo. However, it's innate information, the scientific aspect of this, the actual ritual and ceremony rooted in it, the behaviors that one will engage in order to develop themselves, that is very much rooted in both Eastern and Western mysticism. What other questions do you have for me? By the way, the 4 scholarships that I had open for this series, 3 of them have already been taken. There is only 1 scholarship left, right? So I wanted to also share with you some of the amazing writings that I had gotten for the application of these scholarships. Now, granted, I already asked permission for these people if I can share their stories, and they already gave me the thumbs up. So here's some amazing stories. of some of the people that I may or may not have accepted. Either way, the stories are amazing. Hey Leilani, thank you so much for offering these scholarships to your program. I just started following you through the recommendation of another spiritualist, and I'm really excited to join your class. I unfortunately am unable to pay for the payment plan that you have in place because I just started a new job and have not been able to save up enough. However, I do feel I'm deserving for this scholarship for a lot of reasons. Reason number one, I am a 22-year-old diasporic Puerto Rican. My family moved here from Puerto Rico, and both of my parents were involved in the ATRs and in Espiritismo. When I got to America at 3 years old, one of the biggest changes that I noticed was that my family was filled with a lot of fear. They stopped practicing their ATR practices and their Espiritismo and raised me in a Catholic and Protestant upbringing. There was a lot of fear with regards to bad energies, curses, evil eyes, bad spirits when it came to the ATRs and to Espiritismo. And so they did their very best to raise me with Catholic ideals and to do a lot of prayer. That fear was something that I spent a really long time trying to deconstruct. And what I ended up finding out was during my deconstruction process, it led me back to Espiritismo. Now I'm in a place where I'm trying to figure out where the fear came from, because as I'm researching Espiritismo, I don't see a lot of fear. I've watched your channel and I've seen your interviews, I've seen your discussions about Espiritismo, and I don't see any fear being propagated or promoted. This is something that is has interested me in you and your classes, and a big reason as to why I want to take your course. Reason number two is that I think I was born a medium. It was something that I was able to notice when I was really little. But again, the fear that my family had, specifically my mom, had pushed those abilities away. And now that I am 22 and I'm coming into my own, I would really like to learn how to develop these things in a safe manner without the fear. And lastly, number three, I am the only one in my family who is in college and will be graduating with a college degree. I'm a generational curse breaker, and I have done so much to uplift my family and to break certain traumas that my family holds dear. Espiritismo and the ATRs is one of those traumas. Although I'm not interested in the ATRs, I am interested in Espiritismo, and I do feel it is my... What did she write here? I don't know what that word is, but I'm going to just say I do feel it's my... I'm going to translate that into saying that it is my duty. It is my duty to break this perception of Espiritismo within my family, because I know in my heart of hearts that it is a practice filled with love and with light, which is what I'm seeking. I'm seeking balance, and I think that you and your program can offer that. Thank you again so much, and I hope to hear from you. That was just one story of a bunch of different stories that I received with regards to the scholarships. And I just have to say that these stories are moving. These stories are real. These stories hit home for someone who is also a diasporic Puerto Rican, for someone who is also comes from a family who sees a lot of our indigenous practices as evil, bad, scary, all that. And having to deconstruct all of that, having to go through those channels and really deal with a lot of that myself, I totally overstand this particular person. And a lot of the stories that came in for the scholarship had rang a lot of those same bells. So please understand that what we're doing here is bigger than me. It's bigger than the Magical Solution. It's bigger than even this spiritual community here on TikTok. I'm only doing a small piece. So make sure that you stick with me and you also follow other people who are on this same journey, because we're going to do this together. This is how we grow.